one of the things I forgot when coming out to shoot this video was a microphone. So we're recording on the phone. The reason why I bring up forgetting things is because recently I did a piece on the Pentax SL. The reason that I did that in small part was because I wanted to highlight Ravenni Labs Lumo meter. Now Matt Ravenni Labs sent this to me to test, and I've had it for a little while now. I'm very impressed by it overall. And I had two plans in mind for it. One, I was going to do a video shoot, highlight its cinematic capabilities, and that went very well. Didn't shoot a whole lot of behind the scenes stuff while using it, but I did do a few lighting setups. The other idea was to take out a meterless camera and forgot the meter. So I got some good photos, didn't end up using this guy. So that is why we're here. I'm going to be shooting with this. The Miranda has no meter in it, so it should be great. And this will also tie into a future review on the Miranda RD. So think of this as like a teaser, an unintentional teaser for upcoming content, which is I know what you guys all really care about. I'll conclude this video with like my final thoughts on the system overall, what I think about it, whether or not I think it's worth you getting. Spoiler alert, I do. And then on the second channel, I will have a full video for the Pentax SL walk that I did with my buddy that I just mentioned. And I think the photos came out pretty good. So I'm gonna get this loaded up and then walk around here a little bit, shoot, and talk about the experience. If you're wondering why it's called the RD, it has this red dot over the frame counter. So far as I can tell, that's the only differentiating quality between this and the standard Miranda D. Also, the corners are like rounded out. It's very ovular, circular, round. I think I should go without saying that I'm not entirely trustworthy of the Miranda D's performance. I've not shot with it before. Maybe I have. I've not shot color film with it before. But beyond that, the focus seems to be remarkably off. So I'm going to be trying to shoot at like 5.6, not the 1.9 maximum aperture that this lens can do. Beyond that, I've got the settings here, and I want to give a quick shout out to the meter in this moment because it is really well built. It has this nice aluminum body, so it doesn't feel like it's going to break or, get crushed in my bag. But beyond that, you also have options. You have utility. This can do a few different metering options, whether it's reflective or ambient or any of those things. Incredibly easy to use. I have gotten the firmware updated a few times now, and it's very easy to perform that function as well, which means it's always going to be performing adequately. I like these trees because, it's wintertime here. Kind of, allegedly. It's been very unseasonably warm, as I've mentioned previously. But the trees themselves, they got the moss growth. I'm a sucker for some good moss growth. I guess we'll try out the slow speeds. We got 30 F2 up on this moss. I'm terrible at gauging distance, but that looks like it's 17 inches. Let me see. Okay. All right, so I'm just wrapping up the edit for the Lumo light meter review. But I wanted to cut in really quickly and add a few things that I didn't touch on, as well as give a very succinct final verdict on the meter as well. And I think we need to begin that discussion with this, which is a very unassuming element, but I do think it plays a very important role on delivering a premium experience. It has this like soft, velvety feel to it, and it has the Ravenni Labs logo in it, which is just, I know this is a video about a meter, but I do think that something like this really sets it apart from other things out on the market currently. And there are a lot of meters out there. A lot of different companies are making theirs, little ones that you can like put on a hot shoe, cold shoe, what have you. Ravenni Labs even has one of those for sale on his site. So I think to truly deliver a different experience from that, not only do you have to have all of the different features and functions that this meter has, but I think the little stuff like the delivery of those features really count. And something just as basic as the cinch sack, I think, really comes into play. It's a little note, But it was one of the things when I was unboxing this, I was like, dang, that's really cool. And I'm like looking at the logo. It's like, this is really well done. Obviously, we have the aluminum body that feels really robust and solid, but the buttons itself are incredibly tactile. That's some ASMR clicking right there. The readout is really bright and vivid. There's color to it. It adds nice contrast. And then I touched on this briefly, but the firmware updates. The firmware updates, I think, again, set this apart from other things on the market. The alternative is like older meter systems, whether that's like an older Sekonic or something equivalent to that. The problem with those is who knows how well they work. Some of them work just fine, and I'm not trying to dismiss the quality of them overall, but I think something like this gives you the peace of mind that it is always going to be up to date. And if there are any issues with it, there are corrections being made regularly. So some other things to kind of talk about briefly while we're here. You've got a tripod socket on the bottom. You've got a flash port on the side here. If you're running flash, this would put it right into here and have an accurate idea of what that is going to look like. Little details, I think, play into a bigger picture of a very high quality system. If you can't tell, I'm a big fan of it, and my final verdict would be get one. This isn't going to be the perfect meter for everyone out there. Some of you may be watching this and be like, that's a little bit too much. I don't really need all of that. And maybe the cold shoe, hot shoe meter works just fine for you, and there's nothing wrong with those. But I think in terms of a jack of all trades meter, this definitely fits the bill. But I would say that it's not the conventional jack of all trades, master of none. I think it's really good at everything that it does. So if you're in the market for kind of a do-all Swiss Army knife of a meter, I think the Lumo is the first and the last place that you should be looking. And again, things like the firmware update mean that it's always going to be up to par. It's always going to be working. That kind of peace of mind is not something that's very common in the world of film photography, where there's so many different variables of things going wrong. The less you have to worry about, I think the better the experience is overall. So, the Lumo light meter, should you get one? Yes, do it. Go for it. Do it. Check him out on Kickstarter. Really great guy, great company to support. Can't recommend it enough. I absolutely love this meter, and I think you will too. That's it. That's my review. Check Matt out at Ravenni Labs. Check out the shop. The Kickstarter is just about to wrap up, so stay tuned on when these are going to be out and delivered. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it as always. Shout out Matt, Ravenni Labs. Thank you so much for sending this out to me. Appreciate that so much. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.